venture into Brooklyn? Because I feel like the clout scene, the more of that type of scene, it's more of a Brooklyn scene.
It is, yeah.
It's more of a DIY thrift
Shout out to
store.
the Heights though. Washington Heights was good.
Well, we don't in Brooklyn, but I feel like the kids in Brooklyn go to thrift stores, they wear the shit. Harlem people get fresh.
Yeah.
What makes you venture and cross over down to Harlem?
Well, I think like, I don't know what I don't know if I'm using the correct term, a connoisseur.
Connoisseur?
Yeah.
So what you're saying officially is that you think the scene is here in Brooklyn?
You have to. I think anybody that knows quality of worth, if you've never been to a thrift shop, first of all, you're not a real shopper. And if you're into looks, you know, like the vintage is you got to dig, like even just looking at the Supreme hat, you know what I mean? It's not everything that's commercial that you're gonna find that you think is, you know, dope. I like shit that's like old sometimes, mixing it with some of the new. So yeah, I definitely think Brooklyn is necessary. You have to have the Brooklyn experience. I really come here for different reasons, but when I do come to Brooklyn, it's always worthwhile. You know, I compare you guys' weed to our weed uptown. That's another thing too. So, you know, it's a competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how'd you? So you said that you started kind of entertainment. You came up here as an MC. You actually kind of MC'd our party a little bit. You kind of got it rocking. What made you make that transition? Because a lot of people are DJs and they want to be producers, or they are like, you know, producers and they want to go into music. What made you make that transition over? How was that transition for you?
The crazy thing for me is it's really weird and backwards. And weird is not a bad thing, but I actually started off as a dancer. I was a well-known dancer in Miami, Florida for a while.
Okay.
And I stopped dancing.
What type of dance is that? Bounce? What do they call that?
I don't do that. That's New Orleans.
That's New Orleans, right? That's New Orleans.
Shout out to them for that. But I'm more of I did choreography. I went to a magnet school for dance. I actually took like modern dance and everything. I'm a really good hip hop. I thought I was gonna do videos before anything. I actually been selected for like 2 major music videos before actually recording music and writing. And then I just kind of got into like writing poetry, and from poetry I transitioned into rapping and singing. And what showed me love uptown was a club owner. All my life people have always told me that my voice was a distinctive sound, and they wanted me to do voiceover, even voiceovers as I was in middle school. And so I got into a party and I got on the mic and
it worked.
It just worked. They embraced me and they gave me jobs and told me to come back, and my feed just kept going up, and I got to travel being an MC for different events, and it continues to happen.
Being like with a few artists on tour and stuff, I realized that having control of the crowd is the most important part. Whenever you see the hype man and the MC, he's the person that gets the crowd going.
Popping.
You think that's a transition over into your project, your music that you got here today?
Of course. For me, some of my early projects was conscious music. I wanted to release a lot of conscious music that I wrote when I was sitting down on doing time in the feds. And a lot of my people was like, damn, we want a club record from you, because I'm really that nigga when it comes to like, you know, hype. So I said, damn, you know what, let's give them something. So I went and I found this beat from this young producer. Damn, I can't remember his name at the moment. But I bought it. Yeah. All the producers on my project, I searched high and low, even in Japan. This kid is definitely from the States, and he created the new sound for Hell on Earth. And I was like, you know what, I want to talk about my real life. Like, I want to talk about the black nails, the tattoos, being a black dude in the life. And the project is under the demonization of black men. So it was kind of weird, because I know a lot of people are going to bash me and call me the devil worshiper and all type of BS, not understanding what I'm trying to project to the world, and the perfect timing right now as a black young man. So my Hell on Earth was getting hype, jumping through the crowd, letting them know that we can rage too. And Kinfolk was like the first time I actually raged with like all black, urban, and Latino crowd.
Oh, that was the first time you've been in one of those parties?
Yeah, no, not because I've been to various parties from all over. Like, I go to Up and Down. I did all that before, but nothing's ever been like
nothing like that.
Well, I'm raging with like other niggas from Atlanta, down south, and Latino niggas, and we was like literally in the vibes, and it worked. No, that was amazing.
Nah, that's the cloud scene. There's parties that are like absolutely ridiculous when it comes to that, and the cloud scene, man. Shouts out to everybody that's actually getting money from the cloud scene.
That's also difficult too.
Yeah, you see people like Odalis, you see people like Rax, you see people going to Complex, going traveling, kind of getting contracts from the cloud scene. So if you could take advantage of it with that type of energy, or if you could gather that type of community and bring them with you to shows, and that's your representation of your audience, I mean,
I'm trying to do the crossover. I'm hoping that New York embraces me like I've embraced so many different cultures. But for me, you know, for us in New York City, the underground scene, shout out to my boy Rad. That was the first individual I've ever met that was similar to me visually.
Okay.
Rest in peace. And the connection that we had and him crossing over into music, I met him through a good friend of mine that's like a big bro named Paul, and right here in Brooklyn. And when that happened, I just felt like, damn, there's people that exist like me in the world. I don't know if you ever felt like that. Like, being a black dude that's trendy, you got black nails, and you kind of like, I'm hip hop, I could give it up anywhere I go, but I'm not like these. This is kind of fit. When you see other people, like, damn, we kind of click in a way, you know what I mean?
See, I didn't know Rat personally. I came into the scene right after Rat had died. But Jason Santoro, I don't know if you know Jason.
Of course, yeah.
So I trained boxers, and I trained Jason in boxing for maybe 2-3 months. So we actually had like a really good relationship, and that's how I knew Rat through Jason. And when I first met Jason, he was just too far out. I mean, he had the tattoos all over his face.
Shout out to Jason. He's in Cali right now.
Yeah, shout out to Jason. Shout out to Jason. He's returning to New York soon, but keep that on the low. But he was too far out there. And then once I started to meet more and more people, it was like black fingernails is not bad, tattoos is not bad, and stuff like that. It actually became the norm. So it became. So tell us about this project that you got going on right now.
Okay, Malawtic Surreal, all written by me. I don't have ghostwriters.
You think ghostwriting is a problem, or you think ghostwriting could be a good thing?
No, first of all, everybody that argues with me knows my number one debate is I don't believe in right or wrong, and I don't believe in good and bad. I think that's conditional thinking. But I do believe that if you have a ghostwriter, just be upfront and honest to your fans about it, and hopefully your ghostwriter connects with your real life. I think the problem is that when you have a ghostwriter that's creating something that you've never been through, and you're projecting that imagery to your fan base, is kind of, that's fraud. That's fraudulent to me. Now, don't tell me that you out here hustling, you done did time, did all this shit in your music, and you're really from the suburbs. And I think that's what's happening a lot from these suburban kids. Talking about like being in the hood and doing drugs and culture vultures. That's really what people are.
Because it ain't easy to do drugs, trust me.
It's not easy to survive.
it ain't easy to get high. I tell people all the time because, should I say this? I'm like 3 weeks clean. But
that's good, man. Shout out to you. That's good.
It ain't easy to get high. There's a lot of shit that goes with that shit that people think is just a lot of fun and games. So yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big thing right now. But most of the kids from the culture, my friends, my peers, that are like anti the message that KOD is repping. I love KOD and what J. Cole is talking about, but I think people are forgetting that the culture has always embraced people. And another thing, fuck that. Like, I'm tired of people talking about like putting down people that come from the hood, and that's what Hell on Earth is presenting. You know what I mean? I'm from the hood, like ramen noodles, Project Roaches, niggas pissing in my hallway, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm a state of evolution as a black man. Like, I survived all of that, and I'm gonna talk about it in my music. There's nothing wrong with coming from the hood and projecting that and turning it into money. We've been exploited and robbed all of our lives, and our looks and our culture being taken from us and put on a runway and exemplified for a bigger market. And I think that's a problem. Not let us be able to make money from our life and talk about it and be embraced and love one another.
That is true. That is true. So Hell on Earth is about your life, your experiences, and how you feel about black men at the time.
Right, yeah, definitely.
So we're gonna get into some tracks from Hell on Earth. What tracks we got? What tracks we got queued up from Hell on Earth?
You got the song Hell on Earth.
Hell on Earth is an EP or what is Hell on Earth? A whole
No, it's not the entire project. The whole project is under the demonization of black men, but Hell on Earth is just a song.
Just a song.
The first single that I'm putting out from there.
So go ahead, introduce Hell on Earth before we get to dropping it.
I can't see past you. You looking like a stripper in the motherfucking camera. Trying to flex on me. But this is your boy Malawtic Surreal, and I will hope you guys enjoy this. Play it, stream it. It's gonna be on every single major network in 2 weeks. Hell on Earth. By me.
Hell on Earth. Let's get it. That was good.
Thank you.
Ramen noodles, roaches, niggas listen in my motherfucking hallway. Ramen noodles, roaches, niggas listen in my motherfucking hallway. I sniff the pack, I drink the gas. Sorry mama, but I'm never coming back. Red pill, blue pill, swallow one. I kill the cat. What you think about that? What you think about that? What you think about that? Alice. Fuck up the white raps. I'm a product of my environment. Politicians and scientists, whether they show hate or love it. I'ma take it all in blood. I'ma take it all in blood. I'm a gothic thug. I'm a gothic thug. I'm a gothic. Black nails and tattoos. Hooligans breaking all the rules. Looking for a nasty bitch named Nancy. Looking for full stance. I'ma eat the pussy like a demon. She see me like lotion. I heard the niggas was still hoping. Now I'm praying and hoping. We'll rob him and choke him. On the hush, just floating. Ramen noodles. Roaches. Niggas pissing in my motherfucking hallway. Ramen noodles. Roaches. Niggas pissing in my motherfucking hallway.
Like the whole radio station. We're trying though, we're trying.
Just the party with the demons. 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 On the block, I'm still scheming. God, forgive me. On the block, I'm still scheming. Little God, forgive me. Strippers in the lake of fire. Pussy popping on layaway. Mosh pit raid Sundays. Mosh pit raid Sundays. They only emo cause they broke. Call me cocky like King Kong. Culture vultures, weird niggas, fake bitches, rapping snitches, Judases like snakes. They sold a song for red bottoms. She sold a song for red bottoms. Get it? This all belongs to me. Ramen noodles. Roaches. Niggas pissing in my motherfucking hallway. Ramen noodles. Roaches. Niggas pissing in my motherfucking hallway.
It's off.
Yo, hell on earth.
Yeah.
That's fire, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
That's actually fire. I actually listened to it when you sent it a few days ago, and then now when you Roman noodles, I see it now. That's fire.
Yeah.
What made you come up with that? What made you just the everyday shit you see it coming up, right?
Yeah, I think, I don't live like that now. I mastered the art of actually.
In the mansion now?
Not in the mansion. I live in a little step up from the hood now, but not, I'm no longer in the projects. I haven't eaten ramen noodles in a while. But you know what? I appreciate this culture. I love this culture, whether you're black or white. If you come through a struggle and you survived it, you are 10 times more appreciated than anybody else, with a silver spoon in their mouth to me. And that's what this is all about. Like, I'm living in hell on earth, and I'm going to be the best projection of that as possible.
Word up. One thing I like to ask all my artists that come with tattoos on their faces, at what point did you get the tattoos on your face? Mm-hmm. And what made you get them? What made you say, fuck it?
Well, I come from a culture of, like West Indian, they were like, hell no, you never put tattoos where it's visible. But I felt like, with the felony, I was actually, I went to college and everything. Like, at one point I was actually trying to go on a straight and narrow. And when I got charged on my criminal offense, they was charging me conspiracy, so I couldn't get a corporate job. Nothing. They literally was shunning me. In America, like, you feel like you came for a crime. Look at this nigga, man. What's up? Good morning.
Well, that's the boss back here.
Yeah, he pushing it. He rolling. Catch him.
Boss.
Yeah.
So you got 50 bikes that themselves.
Damn.
Why do you so pulling out all these bikes?
So I basically got the tattoos on my face and was like Carpe Diem, which is like live, seize the moment. It's in Latin. And the broken heart upside down was basically an experience I went through for about 3 or 4 years. And when I made it out, I just said, I never want to forget it. And I put it on my face. Now I got to do this. I have to do this artist.
Yeah, because before you passed, one of my good friends was Little Pete, was Gus, and he said that everybody always asks him how he gets so many tattoos on his face. And he said that he took Xanax one day and woke up with a tattoo on his forehead.
I don't know how people do Xans and do things. When I do a Xan, I lay in my bed and can't move.
What I think happened to him is that he laid down and somebody did the tattoo.
Oh okay. Yeah.
Or maybe he might have agreed to it before he took the Xans and did the tattoo. So when he woke up, he was like, I didn't want no tattoo on my face, but you know what, as an artist, this showed me that there was no turning back, and then I had to do this shit every single fucking day.